For the past 14 years, we have been swimming in the waters of fate, karma, and destiny. But the tides have turned. The energy has shifted as of February 20th of 2026. And as someone who is taught about twin flames, divine timing, and soul contracts for years, I can tell you that the new astrological year that starts on the Spring Equinox and has really already started this energy in 2026 and for the coming years, the Spring Equinox with Neptune and Saturn meeting at 0 degrees Aries is not about sitting back, relaxing, and allowing fate to direct your life anymore. It's about, what do I choose? What do I really, really want to happen in my life? It's about using your I am presence to form your life moving into the future. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin, and we don't normally talk about astrology on this specific channel, but as some of you know, I am an astrologer and a tarot reader, and I am looking at this happening since February 20th and really starting in earnest at the Spring Equinox at 0 degrees Aries as a major shift, as a lot of astrologers do. And I really want to talk about this within the context of you being able to choose love. Now, I'm the author of 12 published books, including Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, Twin Flame Union, The 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey, and my upcoming book for May 20th of 2026, Love Me Unconditionally, A Spiritual Guide to Self-Love. How appropriate for this new shift that we are experiencing right now. If you're new to this channel, I want to welcome you here. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I am doing something extraordinarily special that I have never, ever done. I'm doing a love and alignment, clarity, activation, private one-on-one tarot and channeling. This is unlike anything I've ever done. It's a combination of a couple of things, but it's really something that I've never done in earnest, but it's really to get you prepared and aligned for the love that you truly desire to come into your life. And I'm offering this privately, one-on-one sessions. The link and information is below. So even if you do not follow astrology at all, I'm gonna make the talk about astrology extremely simple, just really simple terms. So don't worry. We've had these slow-moving planets, Neptune and Saturn. Neptune is slower than Saturn, but these slow-moving planets, which are major things, big deals in the sky, in Pisces. Now, Pisces is the 12th sign in the zodiac wheel. Some of you out there might be a Pisces sun, for example, or maybe if you really know your birth chart, maybe you're a Pisces rising or a Pisces moon. Pisces is all about the expansion of life. It's about endings and beginnings, certainly, but it's a lot about the world beyond, right? The spiritual realm, the thinning of the veil between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So Pisces likes when boundaries are dissolved and you can move into dream states. You can move into spiritual states, transcendence, meditation. Those are very much Pisces terms. Pisces is ruled by water, so you think about the wateriness of the ocean, the vastness. In some parts of the ocean, we don't even know where the bottom is. It seems to just go on and on. So just like the universe, the cosmos, God, spirit seems to be so open, wide, and vast. And the universe, we never know where it ends. So you can see that similar energy with Pisces. Now, Saturn has been in Pisces for 2.5 years. That is Saturn's term in any sign. It kind of cycles through every 2.5 years or so. Saturn is all about boundaries. It's about time. It's called the Time Lord. It's about restrictions and rules and regulations and institutions and old men, for example. It is about the karmic lessons that we must face. So that is Saturn, boundaries, structures. And then there's Neptune, who has spent 14 years in watery Pisces. Now, Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, so it's at home. It's at home in Pisces. But Neptune is the direct polar opposite of Saturn. Neptune is about dissolving boundaries. Neptune is about imagination, daydreaming, dreaming, fantasy. It's about stretching those boundaries. It's about not only dissolving, but stretching. It's about altered states of consciousness. So do you see how closely linked it is to Pisces? A lot of times Neptune can represent those altered states due to alcohol and drug use, for example. So Neptune is sometimes bringing about confusion, lack of clarity, disillusionment, right? Disillusionment, believing things that aren't necessarily real, as in a child or an adult that may have a nightmare, for example. That's all Neptune energy, right? You have a nightmare of this monster that is chasing you, and you really feel like it's real. But then when you wake up, you realize that wasn't real, but it feels real. So that's Neptune energy. So for the past 14 years with Neptune at home in Pisces, this big planet that has great big impact. And of course, Saturn, rules and restrictions and boundaries, which it doesn't do so well in Pisces, because Pisces is like, hey man, I don't want to deal with the rules and regulations right now. Let's just chill, smoke something, chill, and watch the water, ride the waves. But something incredible happened that has never happened in modern history in at least 6,000 years. Saturn and Neptune became conjunct, which means that they were exact at the exact degree point at 0 degrees Aries together. Now, Saturn and Neptune come together once every 36 years, but not at that degree point. So for that degree point, the 0 degree point of Aries, which Aries is the beginning of the astrological year, it is the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So 0 degrees, which is considered the world point, 0 degrees Aries, these two enormous planets of great impact come together at the 0 degree point of Aries. That is a humongous shift. It has never happened in recorded history. Not only that, but the two other impactful planets that are very slow moving, Uranus, which cycles around the zodiac every 84 years, and Pluto, which cycles around the zodiac every 248 years, they're forming a grand trine, which is a triangle, right? A triangle with 3 points. So this Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, Uranus, which is currently in Taurus, is the other point of the triangle, and Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees. It was between 0 and 4 degrees, but it's the other point of the triangle. So this grand trine means the energy is circulating around and around and around. So this is something huge, humongous. Now, when we reach the spring equinox on March 20th, I kind of looked at the time. It's around 8:08 a.m. Pacific time, Los Angeles time, on March 20th of 2026, the sun will be at 0 degrees Aries. So if you are an Aries on March 20th, that is your birthday. Happy birthday. But on that point, Neptune, Saturn, and the sun will all still be conjunct. Now, within a couple of degrees. Now, what does conjunct mean? Imagine you're in an elevator with people going to certain floors, but you're in that confined space, right? You might not be stopping at the same floor, but you are all in that small confined space of the elevator. That's what conjunct means. The sun, which is the sense of self, that is me, the sense of I am, the sense of self. Because when you have an astrological sign, you say, I am a Sagittarius, I am a Pisces, I am an Aries, right? So the sun, Neptune, dissolver of boundaries, and Saturn, the structure, all in Aries, which is the beginning of the astrology, the beginning of the brand new 2026 astrological year, they will all be conjunct. Now, why is this such a huge deal? Well, I already mentioned every 6,000 years, but the shift was, and I'm going to turn this into the lesson now, so you don't need to know a whole lot about astrology to understand this lesson. A lot of us that were on a spiritual journey, spiritual awakening journey, twin flame journey, we awoke to the twin flame journey, to a spiritual awakening journey, while Neptune was still in Pisces. Not only that, Saturn for the last 2.5 years has also been in Pisces. The problem with that is that it really leaves everything up to fate and destiny and up to spiritual divine timing. And so what did that mean? It meant that when a lot of us felt very stuck, when we felt like we could not move forward, when we felt very confused, we lacked clarity, we felt like, oh, this is just my fate, this is just destiny, being on this spiritual awakening journey and being in the dark night of the soul is just part of what I'm meant to go through, which sometimes it is. But as I mentioned in a video I posted earlier this week, so if you have been on the twin flame journey, and I know a lot of my viewers have been, if you haven't, that's okay. If you're on a spiritual awakening journey, you may have experienced a lot of the same limitations when Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years. So I mentioned this, that a lot of twin flames have felt like they've been really stuck on the journey, whether you've been on the journey for 14 years, 10, 5, 2, 3, a lot of that global energy through the planets and the planetary aspects and the planets being in Pisces have brought about a lot of dissolving of boundaries, feeling like you're a little bit lost in the sauce, feeling like you're really confused about your next steps, feeling like it's only fate or karma or destiny, and so you can't really take any action steps forward. You've kind of felt like, oh, my life, I just have to take a backseat to my life and just wait it out. Now all that is changing. Okay, all of it's changing. Now, that does not mean that fate doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that destiny doesn't exist. It doesn't mean any of that. But what it does mean is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, that we don't ignore the human part of who we are. So we have the spiritual part, we have the human part. We need to bring them together. And in the human part, we have free will choice. We have free agency over our choices. Now, when you look at the planets and you think about it, even if you don't believe in it, the planets are a reflection of us, and we are a reflection of the planets. So it's not like they're making us do anything. Just look at it as a mirror. It's sort of like showing us where we're at. Just like tarot cards, right? It's kind of just showing you where you're at. So when you think about 14 years of Neptune in Pisces and this swimmy, watery, confusing, maybe turmoil, maybe emotional turmoil, and that thin veil of the spiritual and is this really fate? Is this destiny? Is this what I'm meant to do? Is this not what I'm meant to do? And having all of that confusion and maybe disillusionment, now at the 0 degrees Aries point, this is the I am presence. This is your I am presence. Aries, number 1, first sign, this is the point at which you are born. So I would almost say you are being born again, not in the Christian sense necessarily, but in the sense of you feeling like you have your power back. Just like you had your power at day 1 when you entered the planet, you're like, wow, here I am, world, right? Babies cry their way into the world. And so now, the I am that you are feeling that personal power, the personal choice within, you're able to make better choices for yourself and you're actually able to start some fires, so to speak. So Aries is known as the fire starter. Fire is the element of Aries and it's cardinal fire. Cardinal fire means that this is the start. It's the spark. It's the kindling with the match or the stones that you rub together to create fire. I don't even know what they're called, but it's that you're igniting something with Aries. And now you have the power behind you to be able to do it. So this is no longer you waiting in the background. Let me just, ride the waves, wait for divine timing and fate and my destiny. And this is about, no, 0 degrees Aries, I get to choose. I get to choose what I want. I get to participate in my destiny. Not that you couldn't before, it's just that the energies were making you confused, and myself as well. They were just making you confused. I'm not really sure which direction to go in. I'm not really sure which to choose. I'm a little confused. And so when it comes to love and romance and choosing the love that you desire, the fire starter energy, the ignition energy is here now. It started on February 20th of 2026. And some astrologers are going to say that fire starter energy is actually moving all the way through to the end of April. So there's like a humongous window here that you can set your intentions, set your goals, start creating those little mini fires that will hopefully become some big bonfire for you. Because Mars is the ruler of Aries and Mars is all about action. Taking action, do the action now, take that action, make a decision, take the action. Sometimes it's take the action, then make the decision with Aries. And so the fire starter energy is here now, and I really hope that you will capitalize upon it. What's great is that while Neptune has its drawbacks in Pisces or in water signs, in Aries, while Neptune might not have a whole lot of power in Aries, it does help you with imagination. It does help you with your ideals. What do I really desire? What are my ideals? What is my ideal mate? Who can I imagine as someone that I would like to have in my life to love? Now, if you are already in a relationship and you are interested in renewing that love, Neptune in Aries can be about what do I imagine our relationship to evolve to? Okay, so this is really great because it gives you something concrete. It's no longer in the watery mess of Pisces. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're just going to ride the waves and see what happens. This is about making decisions. This is about your own sovereignty. This is about making things happen through your imagination, your strong desires, and taking some action steps too. Because yes, you are the co-creator of your own destiny. And yes, you trust your spiritual self to help you. but you have the human self that also is able to take the action steps when inspired to do so. And Neptune does help provide you with that inspiration. And of course, Saturn helps you with the structure of it as well. So this season is about your destiny happening through your choices. This is such a different energy. It's so incredibly different than it has been for at least 14 years. But it's the first time in humanity that this junction point, this 0 degrees Aries, has happened for anyone. Now, I'm not talking about world events, the implications of that. I'm not talking about local events, the implications for that. I'm just talking about personally. Personally, for you, what do you choose? Every moment is a choice. You have choices to make right now. What is your deepest driving desire? What do you choose? And that is Aries energy. Making a choice, doing it. Making a choice and doing it. Now, one of the things that I would like to emphasize is that sometimes we don't see our own roadblocks. Sometimes we don't see where we might self-sabotage, especially in love and romance. I've done so much work on this because I had many self-sabotaging behaviors and roadblocks. So I would like to invite you to do a one-on-one session with me, love and alignment, clarity session with tarot and channeling. And I do the angelic channeling before our reading. And then during the 90 minutes, we go through this process that really takes you through everything to get you to the point at which you're ready to receive what you desire and you know the action steps that you're ready to take. So it's going to be incredible. Only 30 spots, actually 29 spots now available. And you can book it at the link below. I want to thank you so much. I'm really excited for this new season. It just feels a lot more energetic. And I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a fire sign, so energy is good. It feels more energetic. It feels more empowered. It feels more like the I am presence that is in each of us is taking precedence over the collective right now. And I know we're in this new age of Aquarius, but you have to get right with yourself before you can get right with others. Does that make sense? You really have to get right with yourself. And that's why I feel like my new book is so incredibly important, Love Me Unconditionally, A Spiritual Guide to Self-Love, because it is about self-love, self-respect, self-worth, choosing yourself first. So you have to be right with yourself before you can help others. So Aries season is going to be amazingly different than anything that many of us have seen. It's your time to take hold of your own destiny. Live your life on purpose. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for subscribing. If you are not yet subscribed, click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this with others who could use a little bit of encouragement in knowing that they have choices they can make. And thanks so much for your support of my work. You can purchase one of my 12 published books. You can go on my website and check out the offerings, and I will see you in the next video.